You're about to start paying a lot more for the exact same life. Your groceries, your next car, your kid's laptop, the clothes on your back. Every single one of those prices is changing right now, and most Americans have no idea why. In the past few weeks, the United States has imposed some of the broadest tariffs in modern history. And whether you support them or not, the economic mechanics work the same way for everyone. Average household estimated additional annual cost, $1,500 to $3,800. Today we're going to skip the political debate entirely and answer the only question that matters to your finances. What do these tariffs actually mean for your wallet right now in April 2026? Section 1. Who actually pays tariffs? First, and this is the single most important thing in this entire video, let's clear up the biggest misconception about tariffs. A tariff is a tax on imported goods, and the common belief is that the foreign country pays it. They don't. Who pays the tariff? Not China, not Mexico. The US importer pays it. When a 25% tariff is placed on a television made in China, it is the American company importing that television, the retailer, the distributor, the business, that pays the tax at the US port of entry. That company then faces a simple choice: absorb the cost and take lower profits, or pass the cost to you through higher prices. And in almost every case, especially for businesses operating on thin margins, the cost gets passed to the consumer. A major study by economists at Princeton, Columbia, and the New York Federal Reserve confirmed that during the 2018 to 2019 U.S. tariff period, nearly 100% of tariff costs were passed on to American consumers and businesses, not absorbed by foreign exporters. Tariff costs flow: foreign manufacturer to U.S. importer to U.S. retailer to your wallet. That finding is not political. It is economic measurement, and the same mechanics apply today. Section 2. What is getting more expensive? Now let's talk specific categories, because the impact is not equal across everything you buy. Electronics and smartphones. The vast majority of phones, laptops, tablets, and televisions are manufactured in China, Vietnam, and Taiwan. With current tariff rates, analysts project flagship smartphone prices rising $150 to $250. Mid-range laptops are expected to increase $100 to $300. These supply chains cannot be moved domestically overnight. It takes years. Cars and auto parts. This is the largest single item impact for most Americans. A 25% tariff on imported vehicles and parts is projected to add $3,000 to $12,000 to vehicle prices depending on the model and where it was assembled. Even American-made vehicles typically contain significant foreign components, engines, electronics, steel, that are now tariff affected. Buying a car in 2026? Prices are rising as current inventory sells through. Clothing. 97% of clothing sold in the US is imported, with major sourcing countries like China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Cambodia all facing elevated tariffs. Clothing prices are projected to rise 15 to 20% over the next 12 to 18 months. That is $285 to $380 more per year for the average household's clothing budget, groceries, and household goods. The grocery impact is more selective. Domestic produce and US-grown staples are less affected. But imported specialty items, seafood, olive oil, coffee, chocolate, and processed foods face meaningful price pressure. Appliances and furniture, heavily sourced from overseas, are projected to cost 20 to 30% more as current inventory is drawn down. Estimated total household impact: $1,500 to $3,800 per year. Peterson Institute, Tax Foundation, Goldman Sachs. Section 3. Inflation and your investments. Tariffs don't just raise prices on specific products, they create broader inflationary pressure. and that has two important ripple effects. Effect one, the Federal Reserve dilemma. The Fed's job is to control inflation, but tariff-driven inflation is different from normal demand-driven inflation. It's a cost increase, not a spending surge. Raising interest rates to fight it risks slowing the economy without fully solving the problem. This creates a difficult position where either inflation runs hotter than the Fed wants, or rate policy stays restrictive longer than the economy can comfortably handle. Either way, it affects your borrowing costs and purchasing power. Effect two, your portfolio. Markets have already responded with significant volatility. This is real. But context matters. Companies importing goods face higher costs and lower margins. Businesses delay investment under trade uncertainty. Export-dependent companies face retaliatory tariffs from trading partners. The S&P 500 recovered from the 2018 to 2019 tariff period. It has recovered from every trade disruption in modern history. If you are invested in diversified index funds with a 10-plus year horizon, the right move is to continue contributing and ignore the short-term noise. If you are within 3 to 5 years of retirement with heavy stock exposure, this is a reasonable moment to review your allocation. Not to panic sell, but to confirm your risk profile still matches your timeline. Section 4. What you should do right now. Let's make this practical. 5 specific moves you can act on today. 5 moves to protect your wallet from tariff inflation. Move 1. Time major purchases strategically. If you are already planning to buy a car, appliance, laptop, or furniture in the next 6 to 12 months, seriously consider moving that purchase forward. Current inventory was bought before peak tariff implementation. In 6 to 12 months, that inventory will be replaced with tariff price stock, and the price will be noticeably higher. This is not panic buying. It is rational timing of a decision you are already going to make. Move 2. Build or top up your emergency fund. An inflationary environment with potential economic slowdown is precisely when an emergency fund matters most. If you are below 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account, which is currently paying 4 to 5% APY, prioritize getting there. Move 3. Do not touch your long-term investments. If you have automatic retirement contributions running, keep them running. Market downturns during ongoing contributions mean you are buying more shares at lower prices. That is dollar cost averaging working in your favor. Do not let short-term volatility interrupt a long-term strategy. Move 4. Review any variable rate debt. Adjustable rate mortgages, variable rate loans, and credit card balances become more dangerous when rate policy is uncertain. Understand your exposure. If refinancing to a fixed rate makes financial sense for your situation, now is the time to model it. Move 5. Shift grocery spending toward domestic products where practical. For food especially, domestic produce, American-sourced proteins, and locally grown items face less direct tariff pressure than imported specialty goods. This is not a complete solution, but it reduces your exposure at the margin where you have flexibility. The United States has used tariffs throughout its entire economic history. They have caused inflation, protected industries, triggered trade negotiations, and been revised or removed. The American economy has navigated every previous tariff period. What you are in right now is the adjustment phase, the 12 to 24 months while supply chains reconfigure, businesses adapt, and prices find a new equilibrium. This period is uncomfortable and real, but it is also finite. On screen, the fundamentals of financial resilience don't change. The environment does. An emergency fund, no high-interest variable debt, a long-term investment strategy you don't abandon during volatility, smart timing on major purchases, and a clear understanding of what is actually happening to prices and why. That is how you navigate this, not with panic and not with denial, but with clarity. Subscribe to Wealth Simplified, where we break down the financial system shaping your money. No political agenda, just the economics, clearly explained. Thanks for watching.